Welcome to the Bite Size Brilliance podcast. I'm your host, Dr. April Darley, and today I'm going to ask you a very strange question. Are you addicted to achievement? So, the majority of my clients are high achievers. They're entrepreneurs, they're professionals, executives, and there are some traits that that population has in common and problems that that population has in common. They tend to be ambitious, optimistic, open minded, flexible to change, highly driven. But the dark side of achievement does exist because some of the most common problems that this population experiences is burnout, imposter syndrome, lack of work life balance, and perfectionism. Does that sound familiar? If so, then you are in the right place and keep listening. So, when it comes to achievement, our brains get a dopamine hit whenever we cross something off the list, check it. And high achievers love to have benchmarks for steadily moving forward. So, sometimes that can create a very commonly known block. And it's really well known in the money mindset world, but it's your work equals your worth. Because for many people, not just high achievers, we tend to tag our identity on what we do in life. That can be your purpose, your job, your some other kind of identity, right? But just for the purpose of this podcast, we're going to talk about your work. Your work equals your worth. So we see this crisis that comes up when something interferes with your identity. If you have this block or belief or thought, work equals worth. If you didn't get your promotion, that's going to say some sort of thing about yourself. If you are fired, demoted, laid off, passed over, or retire, believe it or not. Because when you don't have that thing that you've poured so much of your time and your energy into, you feel this sense of loss or a void. And then you hit this spot, either in burnout or a life fatigue spot, where you start to wonder, what does it really mean? Is this what I really want to do? And when you hit that spot, if you're a higher achiever, it's an invitation to change your level or to up level. And I know that may sound very counterintuitive if you're burnout or you have life fatigue, but there's also that faulty belief of to up level means to do more. And that's not necessarily true. It just means different. And simplifying can be amplifying. But what it's asking you to do is examine what you're doing and really get clear about why you're doing it. If you considered an addiction to achievement, what's really behind that? And for some high achievers, there's some secret motivating reason that you want to achieve. So for some people, they grew up in households where they had to earn affection, or they had the old terminology is like type A parents, right? The type A parents were putting them in dance, ballet, debate club. So their entire life was really highly scheduled. And you didn't see that so much for Gen X because our parents had no idea what we were doing and where we were. But for millennials and Gen Z, they had way more scheduling. And then social media came in. So you were always plugged in. And this sort of led to that trend of overscheduling yourself. So when you accomplish a lot, you normalize that and it becomes an autopilot function. So you are on automatic pilot to achieve and without really stopping to dive deep into why you're actually doing it. So that why question is going to help you in the burnout space and the life fatigue space. And I invite you to really think about, especially if you grew up in a household where achievement was where you had to earn affection, then part of your current adult operating system is that people won't like me if I'm not perfect, or people won't like me if I'm not doing XYZ. They're going to feel some kind of way about me. They're going to judge me. And that causes you to get in your head and almost pushes you to achieve when there's this other part of you that's like, I don't really want to. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't have to earn affection from my parents. So, digging into this operating system that may be an inner conflict to your natural state of being, your natural self, it's amping up your nervous system. And so we need to rewire your brain, the way you think, feel, and believe, rewire the nervous system to operate at a simpler pace. And for high achievers, there is this faulty belief system where slow means no, meaning if I slow down, things won't get done. And we have to rewire that as well, right? Simplify means slower, which means you get to relax, which means you're going to be okay and not die, right? And for some people, especially if they grew up in a very busy type A overscheduled household, it was viewed lazy if you took time for yourself or you weren't scheduling every minute. So that needs to be rewired as well. That self-care is a priority. That's not lazy. And you do need some time to do that. It doesn't have to be hours per day, but you do need to devote some time per day. And that relaxation is a desired state of being, not a negative state of being, because an inability to relax is what leads to burnout and life fatigue. So there are things that we have to rewire and inner conflicts that we have to challenge when you are a high achiever. And at first, it may cause anxiety to think about simplifying, prioritizing self care, or really digging deep into your why and delegating something that is non important. That's, you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to do it yourself. So there are a lot of layers to that. But you want to stop and think, am I addicted to achievement? And is that the healthiest thing for me? And how can I still achieve without burnout, without overloading myself? And that is possible. And that is what I help my clients do every day. And if you want to learn more about how to do that, how to achieve in a healthy way, not on an automatic pilot way, book your consultation call. It's totally free. It's by phone. It's 20 minutes. I promise it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's a very action-packed agenda where we're going to find out where these inner conflicts are for you. I'm going to explain how my three brain operating system is working in your life right now and how that can quickly knock out these inner conflicts that you're seeing play out. So I'm going to drop that link in the show notes below, but you can also find that at aprildarley.com. It's right at the very top. So to schedule your consultation call. So I want to leave you with that is you're a high achiever and achievement is excellent when it's for a purpose, not on automatic pilot. So you are brilliant no matter what. You don't have to earn love. It is going to be freely given to you by the people who really matter in your life. And everybody out there is going to experience moments where they don't feel so great, where we feel judged, where we maybe feel like we're not worthy. But these are the things we want to kick out because that's not true. Your work does not equal your worth. You are inherently worthy just as you are. But what I want to help you do is to realize who you actually are naturally versus this conditioned identity you may have taken on just to survive. All right, my friends, if I can help you, let me know. And until next week, stay brilliant. Bye-bye.